Welcome to the Fantasy Football Hub YouTube channel for the next episode in the My Team series. This is episode 2, and this time it's my time. I'm going to be revealing my initial FPL draft for the upcoming 25-26 season. Now, as always, as you can see on screen, I'm going to be doing this on Fantasy Football Hub's My Team tool. It's an exceptional tool. If you've not heard about it, give me 30 seconds just to explain what it does. Pretty much, you input your own team into the tool, and it spits out a team rating out of 100, gives you a percentage on an algorithmic AI sort of basis, looking purely at the granular data. Is this team good or not? In the last episode, we had the big man Bakar on, and he got a team rating percentage of 93. I'm going to try and beat that today with my current setup, and you guys should try and beat mine too. It's completely free to do. That's the beauty of it. All you got to do is click the link in the description or in the pinned comment. Upload your team via a screenshot. It's so simple to Fantasy Football Hub's My Team tool. Again, completely for free. And then you'll see your team rating. Let me know in the comments if you beat me. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into my initial draft for this season. Okay, starting off in goal, of course. I'm not 100% sure on my goalkeeper, I'm going to be honest, but I am sure on the structure. It's definitely going to be one starting goalkeeper and one 4 million goalkeeper. That will probably be Kinski or whoever I think is the best 4.0 keeper come Gameweek 1 deadline. Doesn't really matter. Kinski has a 1% chance of starting maybe, so he's in there for now. But I'm not going to rotate goalkeepers. I very rarely do it. When I do it, I always get it wrong. I don't like it. I quite like the fact that I don't really have to make that decision week in, week out, and I don't get burned. I think that goalkeepers are the hardest position to predict, especially hauls. So this way, I get the hauls. Yeah, maybe I get the low scores against top teams. Speaking of which, the goalkeeper I've chosen, Petrovic, is playing Liverpool away in Game Week 1. But if you look at his fixtures over 8+ game weeks, they're pretty good. Bournemouth are a solid team. I think Petrovic is the pick of the 4.5 goalkeepers, slightly ahead of Kelleher and Verbruggen. We actually have him at Fantasy Football Hub on 14 predictor points for the first 4 game weeks. You can see that, by the way, for any single player in the game, their predictor points over the first 4 game weeks. And yeah, he's going to start. They just signed him. Bournemouth are a better team than Brentford defensively for sure, especially this season. And I'm not sure about Brighton, so I'm going to go with Petrovic. But yeah, maybe he may change to a Sells. I'm not 100% sure on that. However, I do know it's going to be one starting goalkeeper and one 4 million goalkeeper on the bench. Now coming to the defenders, 2 6 million defenders are in there in Gabriel and Van Dijk. Now I've chosen these two for similar reasons, I would say. They both play for top teams, of course, top defences. They both have great attacking output. Gabriel's probably slightly more so, but Van Dijk's still an absolute beast. And I think they are 2 of the best defenders in the game. However, I do want to talk about the new metric, CBIT, this year, and how that affects those 2 players slightly differently. Gabriel, for example, he's a great defender. He's been, a lock in our teams in FPL for a long time now, realistically. I think, if anything, he is still underpriced at 6 million. However, if the CBIT rule, which is, if you don't know, if a defender this season gets 10 clearances, blocks, interceptions, or tackles in a game, it's a bit of a mouthful, but that's what it is, they will get an extra 2 points. If that was a rule last year, Gabriel would have got an extra 4 points. That's it. He only hit 10 CBITs in 2 fixtures last year, which is not great. Van Dijk, however, would have got considerably more. He is better for CBITs. So that means that Van Dijk is pretty locked in my side, especially with the uncertainty around the rest of the Liverpool defence, obviously specifically the fullbacks. Not 100% sure if anyone's 100% nailed there. But yeah, with Gabriel, I don't know. I'm sort of weighing it up. He's still an elite top defender, right? But he's not as good on that CBIT metric. How much do I sort of consider that in my decision making? Do I think, well, he's terrible for CBITs, therefore I don't pick him? Or do I remember the last 3 years where he's been in my team and been great? It's a tough one to sort of weigh up how important CBITs are. And I kind of like it because we'll get to know it as the season progresses and see how important it is. and it's a talking point with my next two defenders as well, really. Murillo, 5.5 million, Forest defender, was great last season, an absolute monster for CBITs, and the opening fixtures are great for Forest. I want to have some coverage there. Maybe I go with Sales, maybe not, but Murillo or a Forest defender is definitely going to be in. And then Konza, who, like Gabriel, was phenomenal last year, but is, again, really bad for CBITs. And that's, I think, because teams like Arsenal, Aston Villa, etc. are so good and play in a certain sort of style where the volume of CBITs isn't really there for those defenders, because they're high up the pitch, they're dominating possession, they're dominating the game a lot of the time. So they're not going to get those +2 points very often at all. But are they going to get the clean sheets, the occasional attacking return? Yeah. And clean sheets are the bread and butter of any defender. They still are this season, despite the changes, and I know I'm going on about them. However, my final defender is Chris Richards, who is fantastic for CBITs. As you can probably tell, I've been thinking about CBITs quite a lot. And interestingly, in the next couple of days, Fantasy Football Hub are going to release like so much data, a whole page about CBITs and what it means, and predicting those sort of points for this season in serious depth. So go ahead and click the link in the description, not just for getting your team rated, but for all the extra stuff the site has to offer as well. But yeah, that's my defence. I like Richards. Again though, is he a better pick than Gay just because he's better for CBITs, but objectively a worse FPL option and player outside of that? I'm not sure. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I haven't made my mind up on it yet, and I don't think I will until a few game weeks into the season when we see how this all plays out. But that is my defence for now. Okay, getting into the midfield now. Salah is an absolute lock. I don't want to spend too much time talking about him. I think he is the best captain in a good few of the opening few game weeks, especially game week 1. It's either him or Haaland. Personally, the way I play the game is I like captaining premium players the majority of the time. They're premium for a reason. Salah's done it for how many years now? 6, 7, 8? It's insane. He dipped at the end of last year, but I think that was more of a sort of, the season was done. Liverpool won at 100%. They won it super early, rather than him actually having a fall off in terms of his level. But he's in for me. It's him or Haaland, and I'm going to go with him. Palmer as well is locked. He had an interesting season last year as a Chelsea fan. He wasn't getting the FPL returns. He did have a dip in form, but he was still playing well. It was just that output that was missing. But of course, we saw at the Club World Cup like how quickly that can change. He looks bang in form, and Chelsea have phenomenal opening fixtures. With all these fixtures, by the way, and I'll show you a graphic on screen now of our fixture ticker on Fantasy Football Hub's website. This fixture ticker is phenomenal. You can set the game week range to however many game weeks you want, and then that will sort of like make the teams go into a ranking based on those specific game weeks. So if you set it for the first 3 game weeks, Chelsea may be super high. If you then set it for the first 20 game weeks, 20 is ridiculous. If you set it for the first 10 game weeks, then Chelsea may drop down. So if you're a short-term sort of manager, if you're a long-term manager, if you're just looking at the first sort of block of fixtures to how you're going to set up your team, this is a really good tool. For example, if you know you're going to wildcard in game week 8, you wouldn't look any further than game week 8. Just set the fixtures to game week 1 to game week 7, and then you'll see the ranking of which teams are best, which teams have the best fixtures. Super useful stuff. Also free. I'm not trying to sell you anything, guys, here. It's free. Link down below. But Palmer is a lock. I think Chelsea look good. I think this model of bringing new players, young players in, we're finally starting to see the benefits of that. And the team's still young and now has that experience of winning a European trophy, a major European trophy at that, and obviously the Club World Cup. Let's move on to more interesting picks. Florian Wirtz is in. Now, he's one I'm sort of dilly-dallying over. I'm not 100% sure, but I've chatted to a few of my Liverpool mates. They have assured me, as I sweat so much here in the Canadian heat, that he is, first of all, locked. Second of all, very good. Thirdly, can play in a variety of positions, which isn't necessarily a good thing, but will probably mean that his place in the team is set, at least for the opening sort of number of game weeks. Not sure if he's going to play left wing, attacking midfield, maybe even false nine, where he played in a pre-season friendly. I think that was more sort of due to the lack of number 9s that were available for that game, but he can do it. That's the point. Obviously a very talented player. The thing with him is, and I'm trying to sort of learn from previous mistakes where I've not gone with players that are new to the league, and the majority of the time I would not go for a player that's new to the league. But if you get it wrong with someone like Wirtz and you don't go for him, and he sort of makes a mockery of his 8.5 million price tag, suddenly by game week 3 he's 8.8, 8.9 million. You're 0.4 down on everyone else that started with him, and you're still thinking, oh, do I bring him in? Like, it's only been a couple of game weeks. You see what I'm saying? It's sort of like you don't want to get to that stage with a player that could be so explosively good for the best team in the league. So I think it's just not worth the risk, really, of not having him. You can always get rid of him. That's the thing. You can always move down to any of those 6.5 million midfielders. Ones to come, by the way, in this team. But yeah, I'm just not sure it's worth the risk of going without a player that could be so good. Again, opening fixtures of Liverpool are super strong. So he's going to be in for me. Speaking of 6.5s, Ndiaye is in. Yeah, he's pretty template, and maybe Everton don't have the best numbers. But when he was in that team, he did have a lot of injuries last year, we've got to remember. When he was in that team, when he was on penalties, he was great. He's also just a great player to watch, and that is a point in FPL that I don't think we talk about enough. Like, this is a game for fun, and when I watch Everton v Burnley on a Monday night, do I want to watch a player like McNeil try and get points, or do I want to watch a techie little winger in Ndiaye get points? I know the answer. So Ndiaye is in for me. I think he's the best of the 6.5 million mids. You can compare them all on the site. They're all pretty close. And I think there will be at least one. Like, there's Sarr, there's Kudus, there's Ndiaye, there's multiple others that will probably come to the fore and be the standout pick, but I think it could be Ndiaye. 5th pick is the interesting one. Right now I've got Anderson from Forest in my team. You can tell I don't know if I'm bullish on Forest. They are weaker this year, but I'm bullish on their defensive sort of solidarity. I don't think that's changed. They've lost Elanga. Not sure what's going on with Gibbs White. He might be signing a new contract. Who knows? But yeah, I think they're going to be, I don't know, relatively strong still defensively. And I love Anderson as a player. He is in there for the CBITs and the recoveries as well. What do we even call that? CBRIT? It's a mouthful. I don't care. It's in the game. Right, he's in there. He's an absolute beast for recoveries, interceptions, that sort of stuff. If CBRITs were a thing last year, of course midfielders have to get to 12 rather than 10. He would have got a lot of points. It's something like 40 plus points, which would have been great. You know, at 5.5 million, if you're getting about 140, 150 points, that is unbelievably good. So I think, you know, he has that attacking potential as well. Yeah, not great, but I'm sort of like penny picking a little bit. I don't think I've got enough wiggle room in the team really to get to a 6.5 million mid there instead. So Anderson is in for now. Maybe if I drop Mario to like a Neco Williams and then found another 0.5 throughout the rest of the team, it could be on. I'm not sure. I like Mario more than Williams just for the security of minutes when Forest, you know, do that whole European process. I think that's going to be key there. But Anderson's in. I also think he's a top player. He's just, again, really fun to watch. I think he could add more goals to his game. I know he plays a little bit deeper, but he's so good carrying the ball. He gets into great positions. Who knows what's going to happen with Gibbs White? If he does, well, I don't know if he's going to leave, but if he's not in the team or, you know, his minutes are limited at the start of the season, perhaps Anderson could be a little bit more advanced. And yeah, he's great. So he's going to be in. And he's going to be my 7th attacker, which means up front, I'm going for Solanke. He is pretty nailed in my team, I'm going to be honest. I think he's just a top player. You've probably heard a lot of other content creators and people speak about him, but I think he's a sort of player that Frank will love. He was nailed on for 90 minutes when he was fit. Not sure if he's going to be on penalties. I think he might be. We'll see. Depends on Son and potentially other players, but I think he might be. And Tottenham have some beautiful opening fixtures, so he's in for me. Alongside him, I've got João Pedro. Now, he is a very, very contentious one for me. I mentioned at the intro that a lot of this team is pretty locked in, or about 7 or 8 of them I'm happy with. João Pedro is not one of them. He is a bit like Florian Wirtz for me. Is it worth the risk of going without him? As a Chelsea fan, I'm not sure if his position is like 100% nailed in the team. I know it's not, because Delap is there waiting in the wings. I also think, importantly, any sign that things aren't going too well, he may drop out. Like at the 65th minute, Delap might just come in for him. We saw it happen quite a bit at the Club World Cup. Whoever was playing number 9 would be subbed at about the 55th, 60th minute. That could definitely happen again. However, the thing that plays in João Pedro's favour is that he might not be the one to be subbed. It could be a winger. We could see Cole Palmer then go out to the right, João Pedro come in at the number 10 position. He can play in pretty much all 4 of those front 4 positions, which is great for an FPL asset. And again, like Wirtz, I'm thinking, is it worth the risk of going without him when he's super high owned? You can always move down or move up. It's just like, I don't know, do I want to risk that at the start of the season when I know that a lot of my mini league rivals will be on him? I'm not sure. He also does well in like the predicted points and stuff. I don't know. It's a tough one. If I was playing purely like with my head, I think I maybe wouldn't go with him, and I'd sort of back my own judgment of thinking he's not going to get 90 minutes. However, I've got to use my heart here, guys. This is FPL after all. This is my life. Remember that. Probably a little bit strong, but there we go. I'm also a Chelsea fan. It counts for something. There are other good options, I think. Like I still think Chris Wood is a good option. I still think he's got to be their main outlet at Forest. I think Welbeck's a good option for cheaper. I think Evan Nilsson's a good option as well. These are players you can come down to from João Pedro. So for now, he's in, and that leaves me 4.5 million for any randomer. Doesn't matter. I'm not even going to go into it. So there we go. That is the team. Now let's have a look at my team rating and see if it can be improved by AI. Before we even get into that, though, drop your comments down below. What do you think about this team? How similar is it to what you've got going right now? And do you think it will do well? What do you think about Wirtz and João Pedro in particular? Interested to hear your thoughts. Okay, so here we go. Team is on screen, and 91% is the team rating. Going to be honest, pretty gutted with that. I'm not quite sure why it's as low as that, but it is, which means that I go second in the table out of 2, behind Bakar. It's not a position I ever want to be. Not even on a Saturday night here in Canada. Pretty gutted. What can I say? 91%, room for improvement. A few of the players perhaps aren't like super high on fancy football hubs predicted points. I like them for their own positives, but anyways, I have to take that. I'll be back. Don't worry, I'll be back. Come Gameweek 1 with a new updated team. Who knows how much it's going to change? I do like this team quite a bit, but we'll see if I can improve it down the line. But for now, I'm in second place. However, this is the interesting point of the video. I ask Fantasy Football Hub's AI to recommend me some transfers to then improve my team rating. Let's have a look at that right now. And that is interesting. That really is interesting. So the recommendations on screen, and just to explain what this is, these are tailored recommendations based on the algorithm and AI specific to your team. So if you do this with your team, which you can do, by the way, link in the description, you will get completely different recommendations than these ones, specific to your team. But anyway, for my team, Palmer is out for Saka, which is absolutely, well, I mean, I'm just not sure I'm going to do that, but Gyökeres has signed in the past few days. Could Saka? I think that potentially makes Saka a slightly worse option if he's not necessarily on penalties. But then again, he does have a killer in the box now for, surely more assists. Who knows? I'm not sure about that at all. But yeah, maybe statistically and judging by the metrics based on last year especially, Saka is slightly better than Palmer. I don't know about that. leave your comments in the comments down below, of course. What do you think about that one? And then the alternative there, the second alternative, Ndai to Sarr. That one I can understand more. Sarr was better than Ndai last year. I had Sarr in my team a lot last year, especially second half of the season. He was great. Can't really argue with that one. Palace are just a much better side than Everton as well in terms of their attacking output. That one maybe is yeah, I could see myself doing that. I mean, as I said, I did mention Sarr earlier. The 6.5s are all relatively similar. But yeah, the Saka one is shocking. I'm not sure I'll go for that, but it's food for thought nonetheless. If you guys would like to see your own recommended transfers to improve your team rating for Game Week 1, then this is the best time to sign up to Fantasy Football Hub. As I mentioned, the My Team stuff, getting your team rated is free. Looking at the fixture ticker is free. If you want to see your personalized AI recommended transfers, you do need to sign up to the website. However, this is the best time to do it. It's currently 50% off. And if you are new to the site, if you're a new paying customer and you do not win your FPL mini league this season, you will be refunded your entire money. Your entire membership will be refunded to you. We've refunded hundreds of you guys from last season. This is a too good to be true thing in theory, but it's actually legit. There are terms and conditions. For example, you need to log into the site each game week and see how your team's looking, obviously. But yeah, overall, it's pretty simple to follow. And as I said, hundreds of you got refunded last year. So yeah, sign up. Now is the best time. It is the best time. If you've watched this far into the video, clearly you like the website, you like the content. I think this is the best time to do it. 50% off. And if you don't win your mini league, you'll get your money back. If you want to win at FPL, no BS, no sort of beating around the bush. Just if you want to win your mini league, if you want to beat your friends or your work colleagues, this is the tool to sign up to. It's simple as that. Yeah. Maybe each week you might not have time to think loads about your team. Let AI decide it for you. If you want to win, this is the tool to use. Link down below, top line in the description, and also in the pinned comment. That is going to do it for this one, guys. I'm second. I'm gutted, as you can probably tell, but life could be worse. Hope you guys get better team ratings than me. Let me know in the comments down below what your team rating percentage is for your current draft, and I will catch you on the third episode in the My Team series. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new and turn notifications on so you don't miss the next one. My video with Bakar, episode 1, is there. Go and check it out and have a good one.